Opinions expressed in this program are those of the program's host and guests, and not necessarily those of WSTU management, staff, or sponsors. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's now time for Leadership in Business, brought to you by John Campion of European Kitchen and Bath and Todd Harris of Crown Car Care. Call in with questions and comments. 220-9788. 220-WSTU. And now, here's your host.
Here I am. It's me, John Campion, your host tonight
Yes.
for Leadership in Business.
Right. And you're subbing for Todd, who this was his day in the seat, in the big seat.
Yeah, he's in the grease monkey seat today. Yeah. He's fixing diesels and whatnot. But in that, you hear is Frank Mezzapel, world famous, Big Frank, growling in the background because he can do that. He is a big dude. He's scary looking. His bite is worse than his bark, but I will tell you. Anyways, how you doing, Frank?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, man. Thanks for dialing me up. It's great being down here. I love talking on the radio and trying not to say anything in a Brecht-Billion language. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. The FCC won't be cracking down on us. No. But
so because Todd's not here, I thought we'd just do, because I would read the automotive news headlines.
I would read the automotive nude headlines.
Oh, well, you could do that if there's such a thing. But we would, anyways, I would lead off with the headlines, and then of course we would dissect it and go into some depth about it. But I thought we would just read some of the headlines.
Yes.
And we can move on and talk about other things. We can talk about your car.
That's okay.
All right?
Yeah. And
talk about your shop.
One of the things I want to say is I do tell a lot of people, I did this actually earlier today because I have a new fan that listens to me from where I go to my PT.
Okay.
And I told her today, I said,
I'm not on. Shout out?
Yeah. To, I'm going to get this wrong. Lizette. I think that's okay. It. I might have got it wrong. And if I did, I apologize.
The PT master.
She runs the front counter.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I told her about the show last week and she listened and said she listened to it on the way home.
Well,
so that was cool.
Yes.
And so, anyways, I told her that if she listens to tonight, if she listens to the show, she would hear
Todd
click and clack.
Right.
That's what I said. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of these people, and I said it because a lot of people you say, you know who Johnny Carson is? And they go, huh? So she said, oh, sadly, I know who Click and Clack. I said, well, because the Clack, I think, croaked.
Oh yeah,
the brother, one of them. Right. But you guys compliment each other very well on the radio with your automotive knowledge. Frank, you're pretty tricky.
Mine is pretty shirt sleeve.
No, mine is shirt sleeve. I know it's shirt sleeve because I haven't told anybody this, but my mother's 1966 Chevy Impala convertible.
Yes.
I broke a spark plug off in it because I didn't know the laws back then about righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So I went the wrong way and broke the spark plug off, and I had to call my mechanic down at the Standard Oil station because they were all full service.
Yes, indeed.
And I went down there, and Jimmy fixed it for me.
So I
was lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was able to get something around it and get it out. So I was freaking out. That's the last time I ever worked on a car. Kind of like the last time I rode a motorcycle. I laid it down in the grass back in college, and the guy, my guy on my floor, charged me $350 to pay for it to be fixed. So I never rode a motorcycle.
That was the end of that.
So that's not today's headlines, but that's John's headlines.
Okay,
I'm still alive to talk about it.
That's the important part.
And I can't make this stuff up, guys.
No, you can't.
I have all the true stories.
There's lots of stories here.
Do you really work for the CIA?
No.
Sorry.
No. Hyundai Genesis warned dealers on price markups way above sticker price. So we've already kind of those of us here in the Stewart area that know people that have bought cars recently, yeah, it's a real thing.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody today who said that they paid like, $20,000 more for a car because they could ask for it. So yeah, that whole markup stuff on cars,
unbelievable.
I was talking to another friend of mine who said he had to wait 16 weeks for building supplies, build the house. 16 weeks. Wow. So that's just another thing not attributed to the car industry, but as big as the car industry is right now and what's going on with this high price stuff, it's ridiculous. And it's supply and demand. I don't know. There are a zillion car lots out there that have cars in them. Why aren't those being sold? The
Good
used
question.
Cars, I mean, look at one right around the corner from us.
Crazy expensive to buy a used car.
Yeah, well,
but they have all their chips.
They have all their chips. That's right. Just put gas and oil in it and go.
Gas and go, and see Todd to keep it running.
Absolutely. No, he's a pretty amazing guy. He was at our breakfast meeting today. He does a great job, and not only is he like one of the most fun-loving people, he brings a dozen Dunkin' Donuts and lets you eat them. I had two.
So I working at the Flagler, two were left behind. My boss got one, and I got the last one.
It's funny because I told her that he had some donuts today, and she was perked up pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll put a little. Hope she's not listening. Anyways, so that was Hyundai. Now that was on new cars too, right?
Yes, that's their Hyundai Genesis. I guess Genesis is their that's their price
Genesis
point.
That's the fancy pants. They've got a cool looking SUV crossover. That one, it's pretty neat. But I guess I knew that Genesis was made by Hyundai. I always wondered, and they've really made quite a name for themselves in the market. I mean, they're out there. Half the time you see them and you're going, you're trying to read the emblems on the trunks, or on the front. I go, is that a Bentley? I mean,
right. That's the cool thing about living in the Stewart area. Not only do you get to look at license plates from all over the country, but you see some pretty amazing cars.
Some nice rides. Well, that was a discussion that my wife and I had. We were wondering because, with the car commercials, they're always promoting leases.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, okay, on those Beamers and the Jags, and how many of those cars are being leased from, here, Palm Beach. You get into some of the Cadillacs, the Escalades, I'm not saying that's, but
it's a profitable BMW thing for the automakers to do leases because they get the car back. Most of the car cost is expended with a lease, right? Which is pretty cool. And then they clean it up, refurbish it whatever way to make it factory new again as near as possible, right? Minus the mileage, and sell it. And so it's like double dipping, really.
They kind of, it is a double dip. And I will tell you, back in one of my first business cars I ever got, I had two that I went through at the beginning. I leased back in the 80s. And the unfortunate thing is the sales guy I had to work with from the Pontiac dealer where I was going, he was a shyster anyways. And I felt like I was getting shysted.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was, my first car I got was a 1986 Buick Skylark. Four-door. It was, that red, metallic red with a, I don't know what the interior was. It was like earth color, and it was velour. No, not velour. It was kind of furry.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting. And then I moved up to a granny grandpa car. I got a.
But that Buick, did that have bench seats or?
It had buckets.
Bucket seats.
Yeah. Yeah. It was kind of, it was sporty. Yeah. And that was my first car, and of course, I think it had enough leg room. And I was young then and single, and I partied in it too much. It was kind of tough, but
the stories for another.
And then the next one that I leased was a Century Buick Century.
Buick Century, sure.
There was 1 million of them on the road.
Yeah.
And
that's perfect for a businessman.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Then the transmission went out at 45,000.
Not perfect,
but it was covered.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, well, that was a fine quality car. But it was
somebody
it was like that
tranny fluid in there or something.
I don't know. I took care of it.
Yeah.
But in the end, I turned them in and felt like I was left on an island. I was confused. I wasn't sure whether that was a good or a bad deal. And,
well, there was a time for business people where a lease made sense.
Yeah.
And because it gave you the write-off capability.
Yep.
And that part is, expensing, and then you don't have to worry about all the upkeep.
This was so long ago too that I don't even remember what the heck my I had an accountant back then. I'd go visit him about every quarter, and he'd tell me, he'd take care of my taxes, and I was a incorporated manufacturer's rep.
Okay, yeah, smart. And liability.
Yeah, right.
Smart.
Right.
That's the reason why you incorporate.
Wow, I was doing something okay. Huh?
Yes,
thanks. Well, smart.
It was very smart.
It was a smart John.
Yes.
What else you got? Anything else that's worthy of
interesting? There's a car company I never even heard of, and I'm sure Todd could tell us who they are. Stellantis, Stellantis, Stellantis. Apparently, they are fighting right now with the UAW. They're sparring over worker absenteeism, and yet they still had a robust 2021 earnings report, which is kind of nice. But their employees aren't showing.
Sure, they're not like a truck company, or
I don't know. I don't know what they're making. Do
they show anything?
The image looks a little bit like a Jeep.
It
looks like a Jeep.
Could be.
I could only see a quarter image
the
of
UAW here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be some guy in his backyard in Detroit.
Maybe during the commercial break, if I'm curious.
I think that's Lee Iacocca's nephew.
It could be.
Yeah, it might be.
So going on with this Stellantis company, their net profits nearly tripled to $15.2 billion.
What?
I want to find out who the heck this outfit is, right?
I know how it goes. Stellantis. Whoa.
Here's one about a car company you and I actually heard the name of, Rivian. They are facing local opposition to the plant. I guess they have a plant proposed to be located in Georgia. And the local Georgians don't want the plant there. I don't know why.
Maybe they have a Mercedes place nearby or something else. That's crazy.
Oh, but you heard about the cargo ship where there was a whole fleet of cars on there that burned up?
No.
Yeah, it was in the news the other day.
I've been working too hard.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
So in the hold or in one of the trailers? One of the.
Yeah, this was a guess what the cars that were on that ship? I heard about I heard there was a transport ship that was on fire that was carrying cars. I had no idea beyond that. Lamborghinis were on this. So the CEO of Lamborghini of America, he is anxious to find out the fate of the supercars that were burned up aboard the cargo ship. In other words, he wants to know who's going to pay this bill.
Well, it's interesting you say that. Wow. My wife Dee and I were the fortunate 2 Fridays ago. One of my a guy I do business with took Dee and I to the Breakers for lunch.
Nice.
And I, when I was briefing Dee,
you need to introduce me to this guy.
Well, I told Dee it's the first time she's gone there and didn't have to split a glass of water with her sister. But I'd never been to the Breakers, so nice. Those that have been out there, it's beyond. I think that's where you go when you go to heaven.
Yes,
because everything's perfect.
Yes.
And
it's like Mar-a-Lago.
I'm sorry if you poot, you're going to have to pay for it. They just sorry, that'll be $2.50. When I went into the bathroom, I figured I might have to throw $1 in the jar or something. Nobody was in there, thank God. But I will say, when we came out front, there was a black Lamborghini. You know, they have the cars waiting.
Sure.
Black Lamborghini and a black Vet. And maybe that Lamborghini, because it was all black, was in the base of there. But no, I said to my friend, he's from Boston. I go, hey, John. His name was John. I go, you can. Which one you want? Beautiful, beautiful.
It's your choice, right? Yeah.
Parked right next to each other, looking at them. That was a treat.
Yeah.
Know?
See, that's when you take out those golden moments. You take out your cell phone, take a picture.
Yeah. Sorry, Frank.
Yeah,
I guess I was taken up. I'm supposed to be on TikTok. They took some type of video of me in front of the fountain doing a fish dance. Yeah, in front of the breakers. That's the place to do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, rooms are only about 150 times what they are at the Hampton. Can't quote it. Go ahead.
So this is a follow-up article. Rough seas delay the salvage operation for the burning ships.
Oh, okay. So did the ship go down?
I don't know. It's
probably just floundering.
Well, this is 2 hours ago.
Okay.
In the news. So this is pretty much, up-to-date news.
See,
so
I think it was coming
rough seas delay the salvage operation. So the ship's not going down, but I think a lot of the contents are
going to
row.
It's coming from Italy. Wow. It's coming from your maiden land there, right?
Mezzapelle. Yeah. There isn't a car called a Mezzapelle.
Yeah, there should be.
No.
The Mets. The Mets. The New York Mets.
It's a halfway car, right?
Right.
So, but anyways.
No news on the Yugo in there, huh?
No Yugo in the news. No. Tenneco is going private in a $1.6 billion sale. So here's your chance to buy some Tenneco stock.
Tenneco. TENN or one N?
Yeah, TNNECO. Tennessee Oil, I think Tenneco.
No, if it's Tennessee, it'd be Tennessee Oil.
Oh. So,
geez.
Yeah, $1.6 billion sale. I don't know what if they're a parts company or not, but
anyway. I know that they just had the International Builders Show combined with the Kitchen and Bath Show in Orlando. They had over 70,000 people.
Wow.
For this 3-day show, which is like, normally there's about 100 and there's like over 100, and it's just nuts. And I didn't go because I didn't want to get trampled.
Right. Well, yeah.
Plus, it's a lot of walking and I can't do that right now, but that's a lot of people, and that's people that came all the way over from Europe to show their stuff and build their little, a lot of people had their booths were not complete because they were one company I heard their booth got there the last day.
They didn't have time to set it up.
So, it was caught in a container somewhere.
Terrible. In the Cobo Hall in Detroit, right? Everything's unionized.
Is Cobo still there? I thought they tore it down.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Because they built Joe Louis Arena to replace Cobo.
Cobo Hall. Well, anyways, my dad would tell me these stories about Cobo Hall, right? So there was a convention there. Even if you had a lighted display and a light bulb went out.
Yeah, you had to get the union worker to come over.
You had to get a union electrician to change the light bulb.
Yeah, they did that at all these big shows. There's only a few cities in the country that can have like big shows, like the Kitchen and Bath and the electronic show, and that's Las Vegas, Orlando, and New Orleans.
Right.
Chicago has some at the McCormick Place.
Okay.
And then, of course, Cobo was one of the original
convention centers.
Yeah, it was. It's COBO, and it must have been for Mr. Cobo. I don't know who it was. Yeah. And of course, I remember as a youth growing up in Michigan, watching my beloved Bob Love, who played for the Pistons, right? Didn't he? Bob Love, I think.
Could be.
Yeah, and so they would be playing at Cobo Hall.
Right.
That's how I remember Cobo Hall.
Yeah, and then they built the Joe Louis
Arena.
The
Joe Louis Arena. And then I guess that's what they are at now.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things they didn't do in Detroit that they were supposed to do. I think the pizza moguls were supposed to build up some areas and they didn't.
Yeah.
So anyways, but Detroit's taking care of itself.
Yeah.
So
although it's tough to get anything. Did I tell you? So my brother and my sister-in-law were taking me to the airport after my aunt's funeral service, right? So, okay. And my flight was at 4 something. And this is like about 12:30. And that's only not that far of a drive because we were on the west side of Detroit. Not that far to get to the airport. Okay, fine.
Detroit Metro,
which is not in Detroit, by the way.
Right.
Anyways.
Is that in Wayne County or somewhere?
It is in Wayne County.
No, Wayne County's Detroit. Excuse me.
Yeah, it is in, I forget which county, but it'll come to me later. But yeah. So I said, well, let's, I wanted to go to Bushimi's, get a sub sandwich, which is.
Yeah, that's when I caught you. You were trying to get there.
Right. So we go to this local Bushimi's, which is a sandwich shop, right? And they sell beer and wine. It was what we call up north a party store, right? Beer and wine. And
that's what you do in Michigan.
Parties.
You just go to the store and get it all.
So
don't move in the South. There's ABC stores. Sorry.
That's okay. So we go there and I'm looking. Normally what they have is you can place your order for a sandwich. They'll make it for you fresh, just like they do like at any of the sandwich shops here, right? Okay, fine. No sandwich making operation. This is like during the noon hour. It's like
there's no sandwich stuff.
No, they had some pizza things. And we said, well, can you make us this? Oh no, we stopped doing that. Well, why is that? Well, we don't have enough help. So
there you go.
Okay. So we get in the car. We drive a little closer to the airport. My brother takes an exit and we see, it's a Bob Evans. Well, we'll just I says, you know what? Forget about the sandwich. It's not that important.
Bob Evans has food.
We'll actually have a sit-down meal.
Maybe.
Right? So, okay, we'll go to Bob Evans. Right? Now, that's like going to Denny's.
And this is at what time? Like 12 or 1?
This is maybe, by now, we're about 2 o'clock.
I mean, guess the doors are locked.
No,
they're open.
We're in. Was nobody in the dining room. But the hostess greets us. And the hostess says, we only have one server. And it'll be about 15 to 20 minutes before we can take your order. I said, there's nobody here. Huh? Only have one server. So, okay. All right. We're moving on. So
next
said goodbye to Bob Evans.
My Lord,
this
Frank.
is Michigan. This is Detroit.
Yeah.
So we left there. And just as we're pulling out of the parking lot, my sister-in-law says, oh, there's a Wendy's. Oh, okay. Well, back to getting a sandwich. Okay. So we'll go to Wendy's. So we go to Wendy's. There are 2 cars in the parking lot. You want to guess who the 2 cars belong to? One's for the cook and one's for the order taker. The dining room's closed.
Right.
Strictly drive-through.
Right.
And it was a line you can't imagine.
I can, because I saw one like that in Bradenton.
Okay.
When I went on my trip down there to be with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Wendy's door was locked.
Yes.
I walked all the way around it. All the cars are in the so I went across the street to the Burger King.
Yeah.
Got in, and right near the end of my meal, the woman came out and said, "Oh, we're going to be locking the dining room soon, but you don't have to rush to get out of here. But we closed the dining room at like 1:30." And I was just because they don't have any help.
Yeah. But this is endemic throughout Michigan.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
It's
just awful.
Well,
so we finally got a sandwich.
Where'd you go?
At Wendy's.
You got in line at Wendy's.
We just got in line.
It's fast sometimes.
Yeah. But the people were nice, and I mean, they do the best they can. It's not their fault, But
that's why when I do go out to dinner, we don't go out to dinner much. Or if you're tipping anybody, I mean, I will just say it here: give them a good percentage.
Yeah,
20 should be the worst you give them, and that's why I'm always kind of scared when I give my wife the bill to pay because she might pay 15. she's that's the way she is. But I can remember when we first started going back out to dinner. I was feeling kind of weird giving big tips, but how else are they going to make some money?
Yeah, Oh yeah.
And they're the ones who are there when you want it, depending if
yeah.
you have your favorite restaurant or
frontline workers, right?
It's where everybody knows your name, Frank. Hey, they go Mezapel.
Hey. So in honor of Todd, we're going to play a commercial for a car called the Buick Fauci. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Introducing the Buick Fauci with built-in GPS that's got you covered wherever you go.
Fauci, I'd like to drive to the bank.
That's a good reason for a mask.
Other GPS systems make driving predictable, but when it comes to giving directions, the Fauci can't make up its mind.
Fauci, take me to Macy's.
I don't think we have enough information to do that, quite honestly.
Driving in bad weather is never an issue because the Fauci doesn't follow the science. It follows the teachers' unions.
Fauci, I need to drop my kid off at school.
I totally disagree with you.
The Buick Fauci, the car that's been locking down the competition for over a year.
Fauci, can you show me how to get to the theater?
Here we go again with the theater. Let's get down to the facts.
And we are back
Yes.
to our small business, Todd Crown Care, Campion, European
kitchen and bath.
Kitchen and bath.
2 locations to serve you. One in Vero Beach and one here in Stewart.
That's right. Hey, it's a beautiful store I have up in Vero, and they enjoy it. They like it. We call that the Country Club. And if you've ever been in my store down here, driven by it, I call it the McDonald's drive-through because it's just crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's just people pulling in, pulling out, and as long as I'll tell you what's happened. If you know where my store is located, and I'm going to make a plea here. Anybody who uses the Waters car wash, please don't cut through my you got my driveway going 55 miles an hour.
Oh,
You know, they don't want to go up to the corner and turn on just two lots up. They come zipping through my place going about 50. And it also happens from the people when the traffic, like yesterday, somebody ran into the telephone pole up near Stewart Brake and all that right below Willoughby. And I was in my office, and my office is windowless. I'm back there, and all of a sudden, boo, everything goes black. I mean, it was so black I couldn't see the hand in front of my face. So I was only out for about an hour or so, and I don't know how. I guess the person hit the telephone pole and broke it in half. Now that's just rumor, but you know, but what happens is, like, when the traffic starts getting backed up and people are heading towards Palm City, and then they or going up to Canner, they cut through my place.
Yeah.
And you know, if you're going to cut through, I don't mind. Just go slow. You know, you're going to hit one of my customers, or you're going to. We've been.
Well, you know what you should do is put up some speed bumps.
Well,
there.
I have them.
Yeah.
I do have speed bumps. I put them up a few years ago when they were going to do all the work on Monterey.
Yeah.
And now what I'm thinking of, we were looking at these movable barricades. Just put them there. I don't care if somebody hits it with their nice car. You know, you just right now we have we're putting, you know, $3,000 tubs on a forklift out there, and you know, if you hit that, well, we have to call 911. But it's just really kind of, you know, we're good stewards of the neighborhood.
Try to be.
And these people just drive through there. It's just ungodly. So how you know. You don't want me to yell?
Nothing
I was thinking, I want to throw
that important, right?
Yeah, I was thinking of throwing tennis balls at them, but my arm is thrown out. I don't want them to know that. I could cock it and make them stop.
Well, they have the machine that shoots.
That's
tennis.
True.
All you got to do is just pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I should get one of those. You know,
that would be fun.
Kind of like the thing that shoots the shirts.
Yeah. Oh, the shirt cannon.
Yeah, it's kind of like a big. It's
Nerf
kind of
gun,
like a
right?
Nerf gun.
Yeah,
that'd be fun to just shoot Nerf balls at them, just to have the satisfaction of hitting that nice Porsche the idiot drove through my lot. You know, anyways,
God. Too funny.
But you know, you can only do so much.
No, that's true.
And the thing you can't do, and I learned this after the hurricanes. I used to go out and people would cut through, and I yelled at a few people, and I decided, you know what, that guy could just reach in his truck and pull out his gun and shoot me. So I don't think I'll do this. It's the Wild Wild West, man. You know, it's Florida.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, really, it's pretty crazy. So
it can be.
We've talked before. I've decided that, you know, you hear somebody honk at somebody else, you know, they're from New York.
Yes. My wife and I, we like to walk through the neighborhood. She got home late from work yesterday, and I was already home. And she says, let's go for a walk. Well, our walk is just around, you know, the development there at Cedar Point. So we're walking along, and probably I should have had a lighter colored shirt on. I didn't have a flashlight with me, you know, and it's dusk. It's night. It is already nighttime.
But isn't your neighborhood lit?
It is
kind of.
They're like little carriage, you know,
I got
on a pole, right? So, but some guy comes behind me and honks his horn. I go, wait, what are you doing? And so I waved at him and smiled, and sure enough, he drove by with New York plates.
You know, and that's
you're on the air. You're on our newsmaker line. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, it's Charlie.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, John.
Hi.
I got an idea for you, John.
What's that?
First, I was thinking of speed bumps, but not your driveway. But talk to a police officer, have them bring a squad car, just park it there.
Oh.
Yeah, they got a few they can't use, right?
Well, that's what they do. I mean, they park out on the
and they put mannequins in them. Yeah.
Everybody knows there's no cop there, but only if people that live there, live around here.
We put the blow up doll in there.
Yeah.
Right.
And they should give out a few tickets. That'll maybe stop it.
Well, you know, it's a great idea because, you know, when they come in the back there off Seville, which is the street that runs back there, I know you're familiar with it. You know, there's a lot of big wide entrance to come in. The thing that really gets us too is not only do we get that from the back. I mean, we didn't get that when the 7-Eleven was there, you know, before
The
we
car
didn't
wash.
we didn't get
Going to
the
7-Eleven.
yeah, that's pretty bad. We did not get traffic coming through. And now the other thing that we're getting is 3-point turns that come into our driveway or turn around in front of us because they come out of Wawa. They come out of Wawa and you can only take a right. And if they're good citizens, they take the right, but they want to go left. So they just come down and do a 3-point on Monterey, which I'm ready for a nice.
You literally probably should call the police and say, this is what's going on. Are you aware of it?
Yeah, that's good. Charlie, that's
not too far from the sheriff's office. They can just, they
that's
motor up and down
that's
Monterey.
True as well.
Yeah.
That's true as well.
Sure.
All right. Well, good luck.
Hey, that's a great idea, Charlie. I really appreciate it.
And I think the graveyard's full. So
it is. And they're just, people are dying to get in there
right.
or get out. But
maybe we can start stacking them.
We can.
Well, the fence was a good idea because I understand one year there was so much rain flooding that some of the boxes actually floated.
Yeah, that's before. Yeah,
away.
that was many years ago. But there is a bunch of room in that graveyard, unfortunately, towards our building on that. Yeah.
Buy that property and sell a sink and a plot.
There you go. A plot.
That's
2 for 1.
Free freight. Free freight allowed. Charlie, great idea. I am going to pursue that.
Thanks, buddy.
Take care.
All right,
okay, man.
Take care. Too funny. That's great.
Yeah. So if they'll give me that car for maybe nothing, I was looking at these barricades online. You can get those fold up kind, or you can get those long ones, and you could, anyways, I don't, it's just, we'll see what happens. Don't get so uptight. They'll think I'm from Michigan.
But no flying through the parking lot, all right?
Yeah,
no matter where you're driving.
Stop it.
Yeah.
I should have staggered those speed bumps because I got them all in one line.
That's true.
And then, when the big trucks deliver, they have to go up to a certain point so you can get the forklift in behind them. So if
somebody's going through and hitting those speed bumps, anything over 10 miles an hour.
I heard that on your show with Todd, and I have a big one out by my house where I go. And, I watched somebody fly over that in like a BMW the other day. And I said,
just hand out Todd's business card.
But I mean, he made a great point on that 10-mile-an-hour thing. And I would look down to see what I did at about 10 or 15.
Yeah.
I mean,
but the big trick, the big takeaway for me on that show was don't do it under power. If you're going to do it, just roll over it.
Right.
It ideally at 10, maybe 15. Get on it, and then but if you're not doing it under power, it's going to save your tranny too, probably.
Well, that's good.
Oof.
That's good.
So,
well,
all right. Well, let's see.
Wow, we blew by that first break pretty good. Oh no, we took it, didn't we? That's right. Jeez,
we did. Yeah,
I'm doing great today.
Okay, I'm looking for the little sound bite that I had set up for. Oh, there it is. This is the one that you like before we go to commercial. Let's see if I can do this one.
Is that Betty and Wilma?
Betty and Wilma. Where is Betty and Wilma?
Yeah, when they're hanging out with Mrs. Jetson.
Right?
Maybe not.
So yeah, this is taking. So the computer's running slow, but I'm always afraid to take it over. To C&W because they
might not have. You may not get it back for a while.
Right. So yeah, here we go. Maybe. Come on.
What you doing, Rocky?
Hey, that sounds pretty good. Right? Oops. Commercial, once you know it. Here we go.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Hi, John Campion, your host, back with my, well, if it wasn't for Frank, we couldn't do this. Frank Mezzapel. Thanks for being here, Frank.
You can do it.
You do a great job, man.
Oh, man.
I know. I'm trying to make you, I want to see you turn as red as that cover on that microphone.
Right? Yeah, that's pretty zippy, isn't it?
It is. I got this little white one there.
No, I bought, these are microphone cozies. They're actually referred to as windscreens. So you don't pop your peas and that sort of thing.
Okay.
But
okay, well,
but
I haven't popped my pea in a while.
So I bought these. This is actually a different one, but I actually contacted the company that makes the microphones, and I bought the last batch before these were purchased, and because
hey,
why not? I mean, it was like a couple bucks. It's not that big deal.
Why not?
But I mean, you
got that expense account that
I just took it off my expense account
that Greg gave you, and I know he had to peel Carol's fingernails back to get that.
Well, we're going to I understand spring training might be back on the boards.
How cool would that be?
So
next week maybe, huh?
Yeah, so mini camp has started. So there's some good news with that. So we want to see if we can get together, maybe take a ride in your car. We'll have to take up a a collection for the fuel. Expense.
Oh no, that's automatic.
We'll have to do that.
Well, if we get above $4.19 a gallon, maybe, but it's only 93. It just, you can just smell it burning away.
So when you pulled into my parking lot, when you pulled into Cedar Point this weekend, I thought it was, generally when there's about 5 or 6 guys driving a Harley in together.
Yeah, right. You thought
I thought it was a bunch of bikers pulling in.
Yeah,
that is one amazing car.
It does make the heads turn a little bit,
Well, yeah, you expect to see a whole bunch of Harleys.
I went over. I was there was a car show at the B&A flea market Saturday from 11 to 2, which was easy, and I'd never done it before. And when I pulled in there, about halfway through the show, this one woman was with her husband, and he goes, "She wants to know if you can start that." I said, "I can start it. Sure. Let me. You guys want to take it for a ride? You want to drive it?" "Oh no, just start it." So I started it up. I probably should have had one of those when I was in high school. I could have. It's pretty cool. I scared the heck out of this one guy who was with his daughter near the end, and I told her, I said, she was 12. I said, "Just stay here and let me start this so you can hear it." And I started. She jumped. And that was worth. Yeah, she jumped. So it was cool. But anyways, you're very kind to me on the car, and as is Todd, and it's quite the ride.
It's a neat car.
Thank you.
It's just kind of unfortunate that the clouds were rolling in that day. And
thanks for helping me get the top lined and put into the right spot.
That's fine.
The funny part was I was riding back from over by on Ocean back to my house in Palm City, and right in front of our store, when I left you, it just came down like crazy. So I turned on the wipers, and the right wiper went flying straight up in the air and down.
No.
And so I had no wipers because there's no squirter. I'm waiting to buy a secondary one to put in. So there's nothing to hook up to push, if you wanted to squirt.
Right.
And so I was hoping I'd never ran the wipers.
Right.
I never had it out of the garage when it was wet. And so it rained. And then by the time I was going over the Palm City Bridge, the rain stopped.
Thank God.
And I didn't use the wiper at all till I got in my garage. I didn't even use it. Matter of fact, my wife came in last night from taking the garbage out, and she says, "I fixed your wiper." I said, "Well, thanks, Dee Dee.
Aw,
that was nice." Just popped it back in.
Oh.
So, but you're looking down at this 1966 dashboard with this little thing sticking out of the dash with a button. It's the button you press to squirt the water when you want to get water on you. And of course you just, do you pull it? Do you turn it? What do you do? So I turned it once and it flipped on, and the wiper literally flew up in the air and down. It was just funny. So anyways, Frank helped me put the roof on. I hadn't had the convertible top. I hadn't had it up since I bought it back in August, I think. So
It's been that long.
Yeah, I mean, I never had it out in the rain or nothing, and of course, it was easy to wipe down because I got that when I had it detailed here by this guy. He put that Gelco thing that everybody's putting on their boats and cars, and it,
it's slicker than all.
Yeah, you can ice skate on the thing.
Yeah.
Well, don't. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
It is. Yeah.
And it's a big car.
Oh my goodness.
The doors in there as long as your car. You got to be careful swinging them out so you don't hit the car next to you. It was like the good old days. Whoops, sorry.
Look at all the sheet metal that went into just making the rear deck lid.
Yeah, and then like you were looking at all the little medallions in there showing made by Fisher Body and bringing back a lot of memories of what we just took for granted back then, and that's the way it was.
Yeah, I had no idea that was a separate division. I just thought Chevrolet just did that, Fisher Body. I didn't really, until years later, I realized that was like a separate division within General Motors family of businesses.
And you lived in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like,
you just take it for granted.
Yeah. You open up any car. If you opened up a Buick, a Cadillac, Chevrolet, Oldsmobile, doesn't matter. You open up a Pontiac, you open up the door panel, you look at the rocker panel, you saw body by Fisher and the Fisher carriage. So you just, that's
the way it is.
I just thought it was part of the GM family.
Yeah. Now you go and you open up the door on my Yukon and you look and it was assembled in Texas.
Yeah.
Who knows where the parts all came from, but it was assembled in Texas, got a big state of Texas sign in there. And
it could have been,
I don't know.
But Texas is close to Mexico.
Sure it is. Sure, it could be made in, Brownsville or something.
Well, likely, some parts probably came out of Mexico, and then that would make sense why they would want to assemble it in Texas. So that way it's...
Well, somebody knows a lot more about that than we do. So, well, where's Todd when you need him?
Right. And I know a lot of GM products in Michigan are assembled, in Windsor.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I lived on the other side of the state, as you know.
Of course, not right now.
Yeah. Well, we had our neighbors across the street, the Burnsides. They had Burnside Manufacturing. He was a metal stamping company.
Wow.
And he did all these parts for Cadillac. And he, I worked there. His son, Brian, and I had a summer, to help out with third shift. I must have wrecked about 4 dies. My timing wasn't very good, but they did metal stampings for a lot of Cadillacs for the, was the lever that would allow you to, put the seat up and all that stuff.
Yeah, the lever for
and I think I may have told you this before, because any of you longtime baseball fans, one of his salespeople who we got to go over to, Brian and I got to go over to his house one night to get tickets for the Detroit Lions Chicago Bears game at the Pontiac Silverdome was Bill Freehand.
Oh yeah.
And got to sit in his study behind, he's got his big old desk there, and up in the shelf are all his gold gloves for catching. And Freehand, man, he was
at fantasy camp. I palled around with him a little bit.
The thing is, if and remember all those baseball players back then when the Detroit Tigers were good, and they had some of the best players in baseball at the time.
Yeah.
We go through it and put everybody to sleep, but that's our memory, Frank.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. And it was kind of neat all these years later to pal around with these childhood legends,
I couldn't imagine doing that. If I was sitting there playing catch with Ernie Banks or something, being the big Cubs fan I am, I don't know if I told the story. A young lady married this older gentleman who was pretty good looking for his age. They were in our store like a week ago. And I said I was talking about something, and I said, you're from Chicago? I said, yeah, I lived in Chicago. I said, I lived in Chicago when Ernie Banks played first base for the Cubs. She goes, I'm looking at her. I said, you don't know who Ernie Banks is, right? She goes, well, I was born in 1970. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I was right about it. You wouldn't know. So.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
Right
I'm
over
thinking,
there.
boy, this guy's pretty lucky.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Yeah.
Ooh, baby.
He goes, I look a little bit younger than my age. And I said, I'm thinking, you're gonna die, man. How long you been married? 3 days.
3 days. Oh, they're still in their honeymoon.
Yeah, they were, and they were, looking at $500 faucets and $600 sinks. They were right up my alley.
Nice.
It's great. I don't know what they did, but
well,
because I didn't work.
You didn't close.
No,
it.
I don't. I try not to
Yeah.
be the salesperson.
Yeah, well, that's right. Let the floor staff make.
Let the staff do it.
Yeah,
I let the staff do it.
Excellent.
So that's it, huh? We did it.
We did it. Thank
Todd,
you.
we're thinking about you. We're surprised you didn't call in between Grease Monkey.
Poor guy.
trucks.
Yeah, he was underneath the car all day long, trying to get it going.
Our listeners, thanks for listening. John Campion, European Kitchen and Bath. We talked a lot about our business today.
Not really.
but Frank knows how to. He's good at wasting time, just like me, and that's why we get along so well. No, it's all good. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, give John a call at European Kitchen and Bath, and your phone number is
221-3990. 221-3990.
All right.
Please make a note of it.
Very good.
Thanks.
All right. We'll see you again next time.